asset class returns in August. All right, so we've just got the kind of finalized numbers in for August 2020, and here we go. We've got the charts month on month here and the year over year on the right. So really the standout there really is frontier market equities. Interestingly enough, that's something that I covered fairly recently in the weekly macro themes report, outlined the bullish case there, so it's kind of rewarding or satisfying to see that kind of starting to play through. Frontier markets was kind of one of those parts of the market, looking quite, broadly across global markets that had been somewhat sort of left behind during the rally, during the recovery. And, I think that theme, before we dive into the rest of the table there, that theme is quite something to be thinking about, paying a bit of attention to, something that I'm doing more work on, is the idea of those left behind assets. And I mean, this is probably a good chance to dive into the table there. If you look at the year over year stats there, obviously at the top of the table is US large caps, and no surprises there, I guess, and no secret there that is obviously S&P 500. But whatever index you look at for America, it's it's really those top five, or that top handful of tech stocks, which are just really slamming it, having a strong run there. And but then you look at like all countries, ex-US, EFI, commodities, even though they've had a pretty decent run more recently. Sort of things that have been left behind, small caps, look at that, negative year over year versus large caps. Haven't got it on this particular snapshot here, but value stocks are another big part of that. So yeah, I think I'm definitely paying a lot of mind to this idea of the left behind stuff, and that we see frontier markets leading the table in August is certainly at least a bit of a prompt to look at that. But moving down the rest of the table there, not far behind, surprise, surprise, US large caps again. And then, zooming out a little bit, what the common thing that you're seeing here is that these are all sort of equities, so frontier markets, US equities, developed all countries, developed ex-US commodities, EV, all countries, ex-US, small caps, even managing to have a little bit of a go there. Global REITs, emerging market equities, global listed infrastructure, TIPS, which are kind of like an equity commodity-like version, or a bit of treasuries with a flavour of energy and commodities. And then moving down to the negative side of the table, you've got global aggregate, EM sovereign, US high yield, global sovereign, international aggregate, US treasuries, US MLPs, US investment grade. There's two exceptions there, but if you look, the ones that were down the bottom end, it's all income, it's all fixed income, it's yield product, it's defensive assets. So really, the theme of the month was risk on, reflation, recovery, whatever you want to call it, whatever R word you want to use. That was the macro market mood of the month. And, it's a good point to kind of reflect on where we've been. That's something that I've just been doing during the monthly market cycle guidebook writing here. So I just wanted to give a brief glance or glimpse at this is the month in review here that's a little bit more detailed in the writing. I kind of present that there for clients to basically pick that up and use it in their reporting if they want to. But as I mentioned, the market cycle guidebook is what I have just finished writing today. And certainly time for reflection. And I'll read you out the first line here as a bit of a teaser. If ever there was a month in markets to lull us into a sense of false security, that might have been it. And with that, we'll jump back to the page and close it out at that. If you've got any questions, any comments, I'd love to hear from you. Either directly, you can get in touch by going to the website topdowncharts.com or in the comment section. So thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to tune in next month.